Well, 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 friends. Happy Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Happy pregame for the emotional damage that inevitably waits in T minus 1 hour. Happy belated May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, or Revenge of the 6th, whichever day you choose to observe.
Revenge
Um,
of the 6th.
I always thought it was the 5th, but I think somebody screenshotted that Star Wars is officially acknowledging it as the 6th, which makes more sense because it's literally just one letter away. So I'm not complaining. Double whammy. Create a 3-day ordeal of it all. Either way, whatever you're celebrating, it is still very much Star Wars hour, folks.
Go.
It is the Star Wars era right now. It has never been a better time to be eating so good as a Star Wars fan. We have freaking Andor, and we have Tales of the Underworld. Holy shnikes, we are getting overloaded, hence the title of tonight's stream. We are going to catch up, share our thoughts, more so on Tales of the Underworld, since you guys haven't heard from Tom. Share our predictions, I guess. I mean, every week now at this point is like, okay, fight for survival, who's going to live or die in Andor. But everyone's talking about who's going to live or die. I'm talking about, y'all saw him in the loading screen, K2SO. Where has he been? Where is my man? I was promised him, and I feel like his presence is coming. I feel it through the ether. So I'm hoping that perhaps we get introduced to him. Everybody's talking about who we're going to lose. Who are we going to gain? When are we getting K2 up in the game here? Potentially some more Bail Organa with that slow introduction that we got to him last week. We can talk about that.
I think it's confirmed that new Bail is going to be in it this week.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, well, he already was.
I think Tony Gilroy said something about that he wanted to get him in episode 6, and then that way, when he has a bigger role to play in the next week,
yes,
that will be already acclimated to new Bail.
Introduce him slowly.
Yes.
Folks, it has been quite the day, so shout out to everybody for being here. Hope you've all been having a great day so far. We have Sal, literally just finished Tales of the Underworld. Wow, yeah, we're gonna freaking talk about it. Daddy Josh,
great
John
time.
Pitts, Charlie, Simply, Ty Saban, Retro, Sean, let's get it. Ronan's here, let's go. Jason Olsen, Stanley's, Josh, oh my gosh, good to see you. I saw Bird Church in the early gang. I think they had to depart, but thank you, Bird Church, if you're catching us in a rewatch. Patrick Kelly. I saw my queen Alice up in the early game gang. Emery's, let's get it, team. Thank you all so much for showing up and showing out. As always, the OGs. I don't mean to make you jealous, but I got the Acolyte book, Wayseeker. I saw a lot of people on Twitter fangirling, freaking out that it got released today. The cover art looks incredible. So very excited for you, Emery's. Enjoy for real. We're eating so good. There's so much. There is no shortage of Star Wars material right now. But when you put it into perspective, we have tonight and then literally 1 week left of Andor, and then we're back in a drought. So here we are, like, we're feasting. We're eating so good, and then T minus 1 week from now, we're gonna have nothing.
No. Let's not think about that. Let's not think about 2 weeks from now.
Some of the best things in life are fleeting, folks. Star Wars animation has never let me down, says Ty. Yes, everybody share your thoughts, sound off. If you have watched Tales of the Underworld, I know it's a pretty quick turnaround, but we probably will be discussing spoilers and whatnot, sharing our thoughts. You guys know how I felt. I don't think my opinion has changed. If anything, I agree with so many of the takes that I've seen on Twitter that are suggesting Cad Bane's storyline is some of the best that we've gotten in the Tales of iterations, and I concur.
Yeah, I mean, it hits deep. It's incredibly sad and brutal and adds way more ruthlessness to his character. But ultimately, it's a sad story and intense and emotional and tragic, which is what we love about Star Wars. It's a tragedy.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, it was in terms of emotional weight, I mean, that one's got to be probably one. I mean, the Ahsoka one is pretty emotional, where I mean, Anakin's basically training her to survive Order 66. It's like that coming full circle is pretty emotional. The ending of the Dooku one with Yaddle, R.I.P. R.I.P. in peace, Yaddle. What was even Morgan and
Morgan starts off with tragedy.
Morgan and Barriss. And Barriss. And Barriss was pretty emotional
tragic
too.
as well, yeah.
There's a lot of tragedy.
There is.
But Cad Bane with the way that one ends was out of left field tragic. So
and it was drama. Like, bring back, what does George Lucas always say? It's a space opera. Mm-hmm. Operas are tragic and dramatic and messy, y'all. Like, bring that back. The way it was all entrenched. I think for the Ventress episodes, her presence is always amazing, and I will never say no to more content with my queen, but it was her involved in other side missions that didn't necessarily apply to her emotional journey. They gradually paint the picture. You can garner a message from each one. It's like, okay, she lives in this line of work that she's trying to maybe free herself from, start over, reinvent herself, escape this world where you can't trust anybody and your closest friends could potentially stab you in the back any moment. Then the ultimate message of leave the past behind, kill it if you have to, the war, especially where she came from, clawing her way out of that, forging a new future free of the shackles of your past. I just felt like the Cad Bane episodes, however, it was all entrenched in his inner circle, his relationships, his upbringing, his origins. It all had to do with him. I feel like Ventress wasn't even necessarily a side character in her own storylines, but she was kind of aiding in other people's journeys. Other people, the second and third episode both felt very formulaic of, okay, they have to exchange, they got to help somebody else in exchange for information. And that is totally fine because we get to see Ventress being a boss in the process. Jerry has joined us. Thanks so much, Jerry, for tuning in. But the Cad Bane ones, it was just drama. It was like familial drama, family drama. I was like, this almost feels like a soap opera in the best possible way. Like, which I was not. It just took me by surprise because you don't look at Cad Bane and think about his relationships in life. He barely has any. So I thought it was going to be him just kind of being I don't know. I figured it was going to be an origin story based on the trailer material. I think a lot of people prophesized that, but I thought it was going to be like, I just did not predict the direction that it went. I just loved the tea. The tea was piping hot.
Very hot.
Episode 1 was so strong. Yes, if only they had kept up that pace for Ventress's arc. For real, Daddy Josh, I agree. And I'm so glad that we got to see that episode at the Lucasfilm Lucasfilm animation panel at Star Wars Celebration. That is the one that they showed. Yeah. And if you guys watch my vlogs, I was like, holy frick, y'all, lock in. My jaw was on the floor. It was incredible. I was like, oh my, they're coming out of the gates, guns blazing. But for me, unfortunately, that was the best one, and it set off what I thought was going to be the tone for the rest of her episodes, but the other two did not top that for me, which is okay. Listen, the biggest, most pleasant surprise out of all this, it's not, I liked Ventress's episodes, but I loved Cad Bane, and I was not prepared for that at all.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think anyone was. I don't think anyone was at all. The emotional weight of that, like, you think Cad Bane, you're thinking, oh, it's just going to be a shoot and rob and delinquency.
I thought it was just going to be violence,
But, no, it's completely the opposite.
Yup.
Actually.
Emo. Sal, thank you so much.
Sal!
The Cad Bane shorts felt like old school mom movies that turned into John Wick revenge tales, then back to old westerns. And Asajj shorts starting off with Dark Disciple. Wow, give me a Quinlan/Asajj series now. Yes, that is what I'm preaching, and maybe that's why I felt less fulfilled with the Asajj ones. I had a higher expectation, and I was hoping to see more Quinlan, especially after reading Dark Disciple. I'm gonna sound like a broken freaking record, but when I read that book, I was like, give this guy a full show. complete the Dark Disciple arc. That's what it was supposed to be, correct?
Yeah.
This unfinished arc from the Clone Wars that, you know, became their story in the book. But I was like, I would freaking watch this. Yes, these two characters are so multifaceted. The way that I think what's so great about Dark Disciple, it got into the messiness of like their relationship that was not all rainbows and butterflies. Ventress and Quinlan, yeah, I ship them hardcore because they had to fight through the ringer to get to where they ended up together. And even when they, you know, were in a relationship and whatnot, like they both hurt each other. There was this like lack of trust, and you know, it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine the whole time. They were not perfect together, but that's what made it beautiful. And you were like, come on, you guys can get your shits together. And the second that they did, so that's what made me sad, because the whole point of that book for me was to open up Asajj and prove that she is worthy of love. Same with Quinlan. After all the baggage and trauma that they go through at the hands of the Jedi, I might suggest. Hot take, the Jedi Order is the real villain in Dark Disciple, and I'm not exaggerating. They are painted in an accurate light. Like, I don't think anything that they do is necessarily uncharacteristic for them, but it is so extreme, and it's shocking what they're trying to get away with. They're Delulu out here. It was just... And so both Asajj and Quinlan suffer so much, but it's because of the freaking Jedi putting them in these situations. All this is to say, there is still, I think, so much material. And if I know a lot of you guys are suggesting, like, don't worry, Kat, like, they're setting up, it's clear there's going to be a spinoff or something. Do you think that could be the case for, you know, Asajj and now Lyko, her new little friend here, her companion, navigating, forging their own path in the galaxy? I still think, though, there could be great drama, great messiness if, yes, inevitably she gets back with Quinlan. But I'm going to shout out Emrys, because you made a really good point, Emrys. When you're dealing with necromancy, bringing back to life witchcraft, everything, all of Mother Talzin's magic and whatnot, there is a valid point there of there could be danger there. She can keep on living, but she has to forsake her heart's desire. So does that imply that if she were to ever see Quinlan again, like one of them, like the magic steps in and it's like, no, you broke the rules.
Then Quinlan dies?
Maybe. Nick Gundy, remember, for 39 months.
Nick.
No. I didn't watch Underworld with my squad yet, but I'm caught up on Andor. Well, frick, sorry. Close your ears. So sorry. I did say there would be spoilers, Nick. Maybe you tuned in after that. I'm so freaking sorry. I just spoiled quite a lot of it, so my bad there. But still worth watching. Brace yourself. Yes. Lock in for the Cad Bane arc. My God.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone made a good point. Not Andor or Tales related, but Lucasfilm animation related. Maul Shadow Lord. That is the next animation project, and that is the most, for me, I think it's the thing I'm most excited for in the future to come out of Star Wars, is that show. Because they dropped that trailer, and that trailer was awesome.
How much longer are we going to torment them? Because we have the secret knowledge. We saw it.
Potentially out on the internet if you go looking for it.
I'm sure.
Not from us, but I'm sure it's out there. But yeah, that project looks insane. I would love if it was a live action show. It could totally be live action.
Why do you say, let's unpack that? Because you said that immediately after the panel.
Because it's Maul, and if you want an action-packed, live-action, beautifully shot, brutal action movie from Star Wars, Maul's the guy to do it with, and you could totally do it.
You're suggesting if they were to turn this into a feature film and like target the general public, that this could be an alluring, like get people to the theaters with like a live-action Darth Maul film?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think this show should be live action. I think there's so much more that you can accomplish in animation that just does not translate.
Is it going to be great? Yeah. It is going to be great.
Yeah.
But if we got Maul in animation or Maul, a series about Maul in live action, my preferred medium is live action. But yes, it's still going to be a killer show, and it's still the thing I'm most excited for for sure.
Yes, I think we can agree to disagree there. I am team animation, and I was just so elated. They could have announced anything at the Lucasfilm animation panel, and I would have been ecstatic. So the fact that we not only got an announcement, but it was for Darth freaking Maul, it was like the best of all, both worlds, perfect storm.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to hear that the animation is continuing, because they went crickets after the Bad Batch. So we need a Maul live action movie. They hinted at it, and so Ty, yes, we were this close.
I know.
We were on the verge.
I know. Solo was such a tease of Maul having a live action presence again. And it was a tease.
It makes me so salty that was like, I don't know, I don't want to say that was like self-imposed, that we as the fandom were never going to get the continuation of what I believe was supposed to be a trilogy with the Solo films, because of the lack of just people showing up and showing out when that was in theaters. But I'll just never get over that was like one of the primary reasons. Granted, the timing, the marketing, it came out right on the tails of, wasn't it like right after? It was right near Last Jedi, right?
6 months after Last Jedi. It was May of 2018.
Forgot about that.
Last Jedi was December 2017.
But I just remember when we went, we were in the theater and it was pretty empty. Yeah. And we were both
was totally empty.
Are we in the Twilight Zone? Is this real life?
Totally empty.
What happened? So, but we were on the verge. Oh, we could have had it. They're in a parallel world. In an alternate universe, we are all watching the Solo trilogy come to beautiful fruition, and we're getting more Kira.
Yeah, well, listen, it doesn't have to involve Solo, but Kira and Maul,
well, that was a tie-in,
and Crimson Dawn,
that was our segue in
for that aspect. But what Han and Chewie are up to, I'm okay without seeing. But Maul and Kira and that aspect, yeah.
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 Yes.
Which is what this Maul Shadow Lord is about. I know.
So we could have.
I know.
We could have gotten, yes, in a continuation of the Solo franchise, if they split up the storylines and had parallel, plot A, plot B. We could have had Kira with Maul, but alas.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie, exactly. Whatever the live action witnessing of Maul and Vader fighting. That is peak big screen opportunity. Whatever that story is surrounding it. But we know that Maul fears Vader at the Rebels finale. So there's some instance where they meet. I think the reality is we're going to see that in Maul Shadow Lord. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see it in live action. But I think in Maul Shadow Lord, Maul's going to churn up enough noise in the Crimson Dawn criminal enterprise that Vader is going to step in and have to put him in his place.
Yeah. We've got Darth Talon now, though, says Emery's. True. Listen, I'm full throttle with the animation, because that also means we get Sam Witwer. We probably would still get Sam Witwer. He voiced Maul in Solo, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we would be getting him either way. Do you think the movie would have been better received if it hadn't been named Solo? Because I enjoyed it more as just a fun Star Wars movie than a Solo movie, if that makes sense. Daddy Josh, you could be onto something. Because I think what happened... Well, I was about to make the point that I feel like the public reception when it was announced about Han's Solo film, a lot of people's first instinct was, why him? Like, no offense, but interesting, random, especially coming off the tails of, well, y'all just killed his character off. So, like, I guess is this a way to bring back his legacy, and whatnot. But I can't make that argument necessarily, because I had those exact same thoughts for Andor. When they announced an Andor show, I was like, okay, I'm going to take it, but why that character, Like, I felt that same sense of random choice, but okay. And here we are in that show freaking...
Well, it's similarly, totally though, should it be... Like, this is spy, thriller, intense, and that's how they've pitched it.
But it also, I feel like...
Solo was like...
Fun.
Here's fun nostalgia.
True. I do think in that case...
And recasting.
I think even Andor, perhaps, to your point, Daddy Josh... could have been titled something completely different as well, because the show is, yes, about Andor, but it's about so much more than just him. Similarly with Solo, it is just a fun, really good time. has classic Star Wars vibes. So who knows? But speaking of Andor,
Yes.
who's getting the axe this week?
Serial Boy, done.
What?
Dead. He's out. So confident that Serial's out.
What?
He's
Huh?
gonna die, and then Dedra's gonna lose her mind. Serial's dead. I think that not Luthen, not yet. Luthen, not yet. But Serial's dead. I think the guy who's huffing gas with Saw, I think he's
Willman?
dead. Yeah, William's dead. Gas Huffer's dead. Not Saw, but Gas Huffer Apprentice is dead. Serial's totally dead.
Why do you think Cyril is 1,000% on the chopping block?
Because he's on Gorman. It's going to be Gorman Massacre o'clock tonight.
Oh, you think he's going to be collateral?
And he's going to be dead. I think that Vel
They
probably
can't kill
dies.
Cinta and Vel. No freaking
I think
way.
Vel's dead
No.
in the Gorman Massacre. I think I have a feeling Luthen's sidekick chick.
Clea?
Yeah, Clea. She could perhaps be dead, but I don't really know. I haven't thought of
You're
the
naming
circumstances.
everybody.
I haven't thought of the circumstances yet.
You know what? I don't think Clea, because she keeps her head on straight, and she's the only one who is constantly on edge, prepared to die. Out of everyone, I think she is the only one who has made that acceptance, like, whatever the cost, and we got to be ready. We could be eliminated any second. So I feel like with that logic, she's got her head on a swivel. I feel like she might be okay. Hype. Agreed, Swagger. Like,
yeah. Or who's the undercover ISB agent?
Lonnie. No,
Yeah.
not Lonnie.
Lonnie might.
Okay.
Lonnie might get caught. Lonnie's definitely getting caught and going to be tortured.
Well, that's what a lot of people are suggesting, because this thought didn't even occur to me last week when Bix finally enacts her revenge on Dr. Gorst. But you guys were in the comments like, isn't that going to expose Lonnie, because he literally just got assigned to, you know, this transition of they're expanding Dr. Gorst's freaking torture, you know, methods for interrogation. It's becoming a whole program, and Lonnie was assigned to it, so does that not rat him out?
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of that at the time, y'all. I was too hype off Sweet Revenge. But
Yeah.
I didn't consider that was a very risky liability for him.
Yeah.
But for him, it's like the scariest, because, you know, he's not necessarily dead on sight, but he would be put through a ringer. Like, him, of all people, if he were caught for two-timing them, they would...
Yeah.
They would strike, and they would strike
Yeah.
hard.
I'm sure the price to pay for espionage against the ISB
It's not pretty.
is not pretty. But so we could see that perhaps this week. I don't know if it's going to happen this week. I think that a lot of the second tier characters are going to die this week, which is why Serial and Vel and Gas Huffer and Lonnie come into mind. I don't think Bix or Luthen
Yet.
are going to die yet.
Luthen I could see happening in
But
the
7
final.
days from now, they will be.
Different. You will be.
Hey, you will be.
Brian F. also predicts Vel and Daddy Josh. I'm cracking up. I love how we're speculating on who's going to die this week. But you can count on that with this season of this show so far. And I'm beginning to think that this week they're not just going to save it. It's been a little formulaic of, okay, the third episode of episodes 1 through 3, it was Brasso. Then, okay, episode 6, it's been every 3 episodes we're losing. Somebody's dropping. I think that's about to start going out the window, especially if this week is actually the Gorman Massacre. I think you could be onto something. You're very confident about Cyril being there unaware, because he still does not know the larger scope of Dedra's plans.
He doesn't.
I think he might, now that he's been in the room with her and her superior party guys, I think he is going to sense, like, come on, let me in. What is the full scope here?
Yeah.
Surely there's more going on.
Yeah. Actually, I think if Serial dies, I think Dedra's dying too. I think they die together.
Because him dying means
if he dies collateral, she's gonna have. I mean, it could be a suicide.
Jesus.
But I think they die together.
But that is bold. Mm-hmm. But either Cyril is going to get frustrated and demand more info from her.
Cyril.
Or he's so entrenched and blinded and he sees, like, yes, I got to just stay the course. Like, he's getting all this positive reinforcement, you know, from her superior and whatnot. He's getting in the room with the big names. He might just be so tunnel vision right now. Like, oh my God, yes, just stay the course. Stay in line, do whatever the frick Dedra tells me to do, and there could be a huge reward at the end of all this. But he'll then they can't tell him anything. He'll be there on Gorman as the massacre is enacted, and Dedra won't be able to necessarily pull him out. Like, it might be life or death in that regard. Like, you can't tell anyone. You cannot confide in or divulge the totality of this to anyone, Cyril included, or he does have to die.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has that security clearance, no matter how well he's performing right now. No. He's there as her plant and nothing more.
He wasn't on the room. He wasn't on the brunch invite list.
That was above his pay grade.
The Krennic brunch invite list. He wasn't there.
Seaworks agrees. I think Cyril is definitely going to go in this arc. Perhaps he's caught in the crossfire on Gorman. Yeah, that could be really tragic. And the moral of that being, like, his ambition drove him to ruin. And Dedra, who... perhaps Cyril was the only person she could be capable of love romantically with. As much as she struggles to show it, that would be tragic for her, obviously.
She smiled in the mirror. And she was putting Serial Boy's mom in her place.
She did. That was telling. It's like, okay, she's willing to get his narcissistic mother off his back. You don't just go to war with a narcissist like that for anyone. You're doing that to free him from those shackles. So... I don't know. But for her, she'd have to keep her shit together. It's like, for her, she's getting everything she's wanted and fought for, but it's coming with a much higher cost.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean,
so much is going to happen tonight.
I don't know what would be more tragic. If Cyril found out about the plot.
When it was all too late.
And then Dedra knows that he found out. Or if he was completely oblivious and then died in the crossfire. I mean, I think he is going to be the driver to drive Dedra, like her character development. And so I don't know what would be more tragic for Dedra. If it is he knows, and then he knows that she betrayed him and put him in this crazy mission that basically he knew that he was going to die, or if he is completely oblivious and then doesn't realize it, and then his death is ultimately on Dedra's hands and he was completely oblivious. I don't know. I don't think Dedra really cares about well, I don't know. I can't decide.
It's been so hard to crack her code this season of whether she genuinely cares about him. I think she does.
She turned off the lights.
But there are so many moments where I feel like she also is turned off
the lights
emotionally by her own capability to care. Like, it feels so unnatural for her. It's such a foreign feeling. Jay says, I hope nothing happens to her. I like her too, Jay. I'm freaking rooting for her. In spite of everything, she hasn't done anything that diabolical yet this season. We'll see. I could see something, actually, a scenario. Also, welcome, Matthew. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
We were just talking about Tales of the Underworld, so I hope you enjoyed it. Dedra is calling in the strike that kills Cyril. That's fine. This is where things could be interesting, and this segues to my idea I had while you were talking. No, nobody knows. She's definitely kept their relationship. I don't think any of her coworkers or her superiors, Partagas, know that she is romantically involved, that Cyril's her boyfriend, if they even have labels. Yeah. So she probably pitched him to her boss as, like, I know this guy who is desperate to frickin' do anything. He's wrapped around my finger because he's always looking for the next open door in this, in the ISB. Like, let's send him, and he'll be a perfect pawn. He'll do whatever we frickin' say. probably not revealing the totality of her relationship with him. So Partagaz probably just sees them as colleagues. And he might be like, all right, we got to pull out now, send the final strike, and we're hands off. And her being like, Cyril's still there. Our guy's still in there. What do we do about him? And he's like, he already knows. He knows too much and he was too involved, so we'll leave him be. Like,
yeah,
he can't learn anymore. He's gonna know what is happening when they start freaking bombing the place or whatever is gonna unfold. I think it's gonna be another freaking similar, the Tarkin massacre that they keep referencing.
Well, I think it's a corral all the people. I mean, they're holding those protests in the middle of that square.
It's gonna be bad,
I think
y'all.
it's corral. Everybody gets corralled there, and Serial's there, and then the ring of troopers, and they light them all up, and then that starts the riot. So if Serial is in there, and you see him realizing that he's about to die, thinking he was undercover with the Empire, and he knows that the ISB knows that he's there. And then it's his last moments surrounded by innocents before they are genocided.
God.
And it's cutting between Dedra and Serial as it's happening. And Dedra knows it's happening. And Serial knows that Dedra knows that it's happening. That'd be pretty...
And that's when she starts to have her panic attack,
tragic.
y'all, where she was clawing at her collar and everybody thinks she's getting choked out by Vader. She's going to lose it because maybe Cyril is collateral.
Or if she tries to stop it and then Palpatine comes in and says, no, you're not stopping it. And then Palpatine's choking her out.
I could see Cyril seeing
like
this
we thought, even though Tony has said Palpatine and Vader are not in the show.
Cyril could see this through the end because I know I've been hypothesizing, is there any potential for him to... switching sides.
Cyril?
Yes. Being as entrenched as he is, like getting really involved with the Gorman front, he puts on such a good act when he's with them that it begs the question.
This is a year later.
Does any part of him, actually sympathize with these people the more time he's spending with them? Are they rubbing off on him?
If he's in the trenches for a year, and if it opens up and he's suspicious of something bigger going on, like, and if it's been a year of like Dedra and Poltergeist shutting him out and keeping him aloof, and he knows it, then maybe he would be more sympathetic. Or if there are more tragedies, but like he saw Cinta die and he just says like one down, like he's pretty emotionless.
I think he's ride or die
in the moment.
He'll do anything for the ISB. Or will he just do anything for power and self-fulfillment? I don't know. I don't think he seeks power. I think he just seeks pride in himself.
Yeah, he wants to climb the ranks of the Empire. I mean, he literally said in the last episode, this is the greatest day of my life, when he is congratulated by Poltergeist and for his accomplishments in serving the ISB and the Empire. So
you could be onto something, though. You were saying how he's probably, this is going to be a year later, so it's just been a year of him doing Dedra's bidding, all the dirty work, getting involved, following her path. And we already saw a flicker of it when he's like, aren't you going to bring this to Partagaz, your superior? I thought you would kind of rope him in. And she was kind of holding him at bay, like, we'll wait till we have something substantial. Like, she's probably been doing a lot of that. Like, Cyril asking more questions, getting more ballsy, getting more bold. Like, rope your boss in on this. Fill me in more. What's next? Like, what's the end game here? Like, he's probably going to start to prod more this pattern of him asking her for some validation from Partagaz and her having to just reject him constantly. He's probably going to pick up on that trend of she's keeping him in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, Sal, are we watching The Last of Us? We are, guys. We finally did.
Yes.
I think maybe I'll either do a live stream. Let me know. I'm not going to do reactions this season because I was already halfway through the season behind. There's only 3 episodes left after this week. So, that unfortunately I was just too late. I'm in the queue. I'm backlogged with Andor, y'all. But I do have thoughts on it. I have strong thoughts on The Last of Us Season 2. Enough that I would either want to just have a kind of like review discussion video to talk about it now at the halfway point, or maybe do another live stream later this week to talk about it, debrief, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see, maybe something, I don't know, because I have a lot of thoughts. So let me know if you guys would want to join live, like do something and talk about it so that we can all have a dialogue because I'd like to hear other people's opinions. I am enjoying it. You can do a recap video, Kat. Yeah, maybe I will. That just requires me to do editing, so that's why live streams are nice because I don't have to edit. But so yeah, let me know. Sound off. But I do want to touch on it. I have thoughts for season 2.
Yeah. And Jay, great question. Kat, are those your paintings behind you? Yes, they are, Jay.
Well, some of them, not
There's
all.
a lot of Kat LaSalle original pieces of art back there. And it's a great time for the sponsor of today's live stream, which is Catherine LaSalle LLC Jackets. So,
yes,
for those who are interested in custom clothing, hand painted by Catherine here, you can order your own custom jacket.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Whatever images and backgrounds and figures you would like at CatherineLaSalle.com/jacket store.
Tom's been repping this one a lot lately.
And order yours today. And it doesn't have to be Star Wars related. It can be literally whatever you want. Whatever you can possibly think of. You can order it at CatherineLaSalle.com.
That's why Tom's the goat. That is why, Daddy Josh, because I am literally allergic to self-promotion.
And shout out Daddy Josh for ordering a sick jacket design.
He has given us permission to document it, y'all, so you'll be seeing a video. I love Alice's idea here. Will you do a live watch party for the last episode of Andor? Maybe I won't do a watch party, but maybe I'll go live immediately after. Don't get me started. Yes! I'm excited, Daddy Josh. I'm excited that you're excited. I think your next one's got to be Cad Bane or Quinlan and Asajj related. I'm feeling that way. Oh, an Asajj Ventress one, Sal. Frick. That Anakin jacket, I have to say, is my favorite one. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, go give my
Me too, Jerry.
Instagram reel some love today, folks. I might be allergic to self-promotion, but I finally posted that.
We'll post
video.
it on shorts so the
Maybe
YouTube crowd can see it.
That's true too. But if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me there.
That too. Yeah.
Double whammy. It all circles back. I'm trying to be more active on there, y'all. I have been more active. Literally the entirety of 2024, I posted like 3 times. I've already posted like 4 times this year.
No.
And we're trying to even expand upon that. It looks so good. My gosh, give yourself a pat on the back. Well, it's just been great because Tom's been wearing it a lot in public. He got to get his reps in after Celebration.
Wore to 2 Revenge of the Sith screenings and a local Star Wars bar.
Yeah,
that we went out to that we haven't been to in a long time.
If you guys know, in Los Angeles on Hollywood Boulevard, Scum and Villainy is an incredible establishment.
Yeah.
That I'm sure many people are going to be. I'm sure it's going to be popping during Celebration 2027 in LA.
Yeah,
it's a great place.
It'll
Great
be...
drinks. It's not just Star Wars. It is Star Wars themed inside to be like a cantina, but they have nods to other franchises and decor, and their menu and drinks are all nerd themed that expand to either Marvel or they have everything on
Rings,
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Marvel.
Alien stuff.
Yeah, there's that drink I was telling you about, Atreyu's Tears, Never-Ending Story fans. Yeah. If y'all know, you know.
There's a Dragon Ball Z drink, Super Saiyan.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And the drinks are great. So, so yes, we got to wear it there. It was a good time. Good time.
Yep, and that's where we were the night that Hayden and Samuel Jackson crashed that screening. We were literally
down the street.
We were literally 2 blocks away. They were at the theater that we saw the prequel marathon the night before. 24 hours later, Hayden and Sam show up to that screening, and we were 3 blocks away at Star Wars Bar. So very small world. We were secretly hoping that they would come crash the Star Wars Bar after, but they did not. Alas. Yes, been wearing that jacket a lot. I think that's my favorite too.
Yes. I like Brian's question here. We are so lucky to be alive during this spring of Andor. Agreed. I'm trying to savor this. I can't believe it. It slipped my mind that it's already going to be over by next week. Do you agree that it's a real actor's show? A freaking 1000%. And that's what I'm really going to miss about this show. The performances and the ensemble of it all. There are so many different plot points going on right now. Everybody has their skin in the game. Dedra, Cyril, Andor, Bix, Luthen, Clea, Lonnie, Saw, like, the list goes on, and there's people from every facet of the story here, from every side, good or bad. They all think they're acting in the name of good, and so that's what's been just that has been the most exciting thing about this show, because as I was saying, you know, to circle back, when we first heard announcement of an Andor series, I was like, why him? But he's the vessel getting entrenched in this larger world of politics, Mon Mothma, so many other people at play. And that was just the best discovery, realizing that this is an ensemble piece. So I am going to miss it and all these performances. And just hearing the actors when they talk about the show and the freedom that they have and the writing, the script, it sounds like it is rare to be an actor and be gifted writing that's this great, where you can play in the subtext, because that is the most challenging part of acting, but also the most fun. If you can convey what's not written on the page, but what's going on up here. I mean, when I was taking acting lessons, like, all day, every day, when I was in the thick of it, that was like the sole thing that we focused on. Like, okay, read the lines, but read what is between the line. What is your character not saying? But what would they, if they could say literally, what would they actually say right now? But what do they have to hide? And so that's what's great about this show, especially this season. Like, I feel like the writing and dialogue for this season, it's almost to the point that it makes your brain scramble a little bit. Like, you have to fight to figure out, okay, what is actually going on in this scene? Oh, Tay is, like, straight up threatening Mon Mothma. Like, oh, Luthen's suggesting we have to freaking eliminate Tay. Like, you have to put the pieces together. It doesn't just spoon feed it to you. So I'm gonna miss it. Danny, thank you so much.
Danny!
Ooh. Catherine, I need to tell you that your painting on your website of the glassware against the silk fabric is one of the most beautiful things I've seen. I'll look at it when I'm feeling down and I'm captivated by it. Oh my god. Danny, you just made my life. If it's the one that I'm thinking about, is it
Actually, I don't know.
is it just white pencil on a black background? If that is the one, I literally made that in high school. Like, that's when I locked in and realized, like, oh, this is what I want to do, like, with my life. That was, like, one of my favorite projects in, like, my high school art classes.
I gotta go look.
If it is...
Is it just in the portfolio?
It might just be on that main page. Because I think I know exactly off the top of my head what he's saying. It would be lower. It would be lower. That one, yes.
Ah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dang. I have that dog in me. I was locked in when I was freaking... I'm proud of my past self.
No.
I was spending hours, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm getting flashbacks. I would stay after school for hours working on that piece.
This is the image for those wondering.
There it is. It's hard to see. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. That middle one.
Yes. If that's the one we're talking about. But thank you, Danny. That really means so much to me. Whenever you guys also get a kick out of my non-Star Wars themed art, it really means the world to me. And it gives me a kick of excitement because I'm gonna start making, I think I want to start making videos just documenting my process of my personal art as well. Not Star Wars related. So thank you, Danny, for the words of encouragement. We are 15 minutes out, folks.
15 minutes!
Based on Tom's theory, everyone's gonna die. I'll make my prediction. You lock in your certainty.
One certainty?
If you have to guarantee one person...
Cereal.
Cereal?
Cereal is my one guarantee. Lock it in. I'm betting the house, everything, every cent to our name on cereal dying.
Sheesh. Brian, thank you so much.
He better die.
Well, if not, we have no home. Brian, thank you so much.
Brian.
You still rock. I love Andor's anti-fascist themes, and I hope it helps wake people up a freaking minute. I would also love to interview you about Star Wars soon. Oh, thank you, Brian. I agree. It's just crazy how relevant this show has been. The timing could not be more timely, unfortunately. It could not be more just horrifyingly relevant. So I wonder what it must be like to be Tony Gilroy and just watch all this unfold. Having obviously written this before the year 2025, where things are unfolding politically, at least in the United States of America, that are a little bit alarming, not to get into it, but that's why everyone's like, holy frick, are you a prophet? Because so many of the themes explored in this show are very relevant to what's happening. And he's like, nah, I just... He didn't know. How could he have known? So I wonder what it's like for him to have written this probably years ago and see people be like horrified by how relevant it is to our modern time.
With the strikes and everything, it's been heavily delayed, so it has been years.
That's true. I forgot about
season 2 has just been waiting to come out.
That's
we would have
true.
had this a while ago if it weren't for the strikes.
So. That is true. Oh my gosh. And throwback to when we were curious about whether the strike that happened in the middle of production for them, if that would have had any impact. Clearly not on the success of this season. I don't see any. No part of me. I forgot that even happened. Thank gosh. Because sometimes that can be very apparent if production was halted or stalled or impacted by something like that. And I think what it was, since it was during the writer's strike initially, they just couldn't have contact with Tony, and he couldn't be there sounding off on how they were approaching things for a bit of the production.
Yeah.
Oscar, thank you for joining us for the last 14 minutes here.
14 minutes
of our pregame countdown. It is so weird that Andor came out in this exact time, and that's how you know that they have tapped into another level of storytelling. For real. They are on to something. I don't know, y'all. I feel like I know I've been out here being pessimistic, saying that we're not ever going to get another show like this in Star Wars, but I feel like this season in particular, the audience reception, now that everybody's on board, everybody knows the caliber that we are dealing with, and the expectation has been set. Where season 1, people were still like getting a feel for the show, and it was a gradual realization of like, oh my god, like from start to finish, the process of realizing what we had, this gold that we had unlocked with this show, versus now everybody is like locked in for season 2. I don't know. I'm hoping either more creatives like Tony Gilroy or writers see Star Wars as this vessel where they can tell these deep, dramatic stories and try to fill the void, because I'm gonna freaking miss this a lot.
You can't get off the hook. You asked me who I'm locking in to die.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
What's your lock? What's your pick? BMO?
Well, I saw somebody say on Twitter.
Open with BMO getting thrown into a trash compactor.
Somebody on Twitter said, y'all realize Luthen probably had BMO killed, right? And I was like, now why would he do that? But I don't know. Did he know too much?
Yeah.
Maybe.
He has terabytes of
hard drive
information.
Secret intel. Maybe. I don't know. That's a sad, tragic thought. Okay. I do not think Cyril is going down this week.
Ooh.
Nor do I think Luthen's going to be saved for maybe like the first episode of next week. Or something big is going to happen, and we've already prophesized this, because where Cassian ends up the start of Rogue One, he is on edge.
Yeah.
He is tense, and they are all like, we gotta snap too. Like, his demeanor, he's taking names, like he's taking no shiz.
He murders the broken arm guy right out of the gate.
He doesn't have
first
time
10 minutes of Rogue One.
For Jyn. He's ready to pull the trigger on Galen or so. Like, he has snapped. He's pedal to the metal. Cassian, now we're still seeing him like, saying Luthen's asking too much of them, XYZ, versus Cassian there wouldn't question orders. So I think
he needs loss, and Bix has said, if I'm giving up everything, we need to win.
Well,
she's dead. She bites the dust.
I don't know.
I think Bix is dead. I think Bix has to die in this arc.
What the frick?
You know why? Because Cassian has some romantic interest with Jyn. That's how it comes across on the screen. If Bix dies, like, one morning, and then the next morning Cassian meets Jyn, and then it's like, oh, now there's this budding relationship, then no, that's a disservice to Bix and Cassian's relationship. So I think Bix has to die in the 3 episodes tonight.
They would.
I'm switching my lock. I'm switching my lock. Bix is dead this week.
You really think that they would let her have this incredible healing journey and to get her revenge just to kill her next?
Off screen. We don't even see it. She died in the year past.
No.
No, I'm kidding. She's not. She's gonna die on screen.
I agree with Alice.
I think it has to happen tonight because we only have a year time jump left to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Rogue One's a year away. We need Cassian to feel that loss and then harbor that for some amount of time.
For a little bit of time.
Leading into Rogue One. So Bix has to die
I'm
for the benefit of Cassian's character transition. Bix is dead. That's my lock. That's my lock. I'm locking it in.
I'm still steadfast that there was nothing romantic between Cassian and Jyn in their final moments. I think it was genuinely two people in a platonic moment of, wow, you're the last person I'm ever going to see in this life.
No,
we're about to die
the beach.
together.
It's not the beach. It's like the elevator.
Yes, that's
the
exactly
elevator.
what I'm
they're like this.
About. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They're just having a moment of, we're gonna die, but at least it was worth it. And
sexual tension.
In the elevator. No. Pole positions.
Rogue One totally set it up that Cassian and Jyn, if they were to survive, would have had a relationship.
You might fire one ready, y'all, and
maybe that's
sound off.
Maybe
really.
that's what Diego Luna is so teasing about. Oh, after you finish Andor season 2, you'll never look at Rogue One the same way, and maybe that's what it is.
Ooh, Stanley's possible that Bix could be pregnant and leaves to raise in safety isolation. Yes, like I really feel like Bix could get out, or Cassian takes Luthen's words to heart of like, you can't lock in and fully do this if you have emotional liabilities. So like, remedy that. Like, take care of her, get her out of this life if you don't want her in. But I don't think Bix would just go willingly unless, Stanley's, you could be onto something if she had something else, a future. Because she's like, ride or die, like, let's freaking win whatever the cost. But if there was something else that she could be accountable for, like, oh my god, they have a kid.
They have a kid in this last year. We see the kid, and the kid and Bix die, and that's what takes Cassian to the next level.
Oh my god.
His like 4-month-old kid dies. Bix dies. Cassian's over the edge. He's completely locked in. It's win or bust for the love that he has for Bix and his kid.
Okay, well, I'm
that both died tonight.
In the minority here because shockingly to me, I thought I had the majority opinion, but no, a lot of y'all think that Jyn and Cassian were an item in Rogue One, or at least in their final moments. Yeah. I still never made my prediction.
You didn't. Have I convinced you?
I'm convinced that I think everyone in the Gorman front is going to die.
That doesn't count.
But that's kind of inevitable. You know what? As much as I hate to say it, I think Lonnie. I think we're going to start to see Luthen take some bigger risks. We already know that he's full throttle, like whatever happens on Gorman, it's win-win, because even if this goes up in flames, they become a martyr. Yeah. And this will be a galaxy-wide travesty that will rally people to our cause, to like snap in and be like, if they could do this to this planet that had their own economy that was posing a threat to the Empire, like what are they going to do to a lesser planet?
Yeah. We know we're going to get the rallying and the conjoining of the rebel sects.
Yeah.
Sects.
That's a hard word to say.
The greater rebellion, like, after the aftermath of this. So, Bix won't be there, but a lot of other members of the rebellion will be there and joining, and Mon Mothma. Hopefully we get that great legendary speech to the Senate.
Charlie's onto something. Mon's family could bite it. Potentially.
She leaves. We'll see Perrin hung up in the streets of Coruscant.
Oh.
Leda. What's her daughter's name?
You actually got somebody's name right.
Leda. See them actually, like, I don't know if they would straight up be murdered, but more like
no, her daughter's safe because she's been married off.
Ransom.
You know what? That could actually turn into this crazy 360. Like, Mon thinks she's selling her soul to the devil by subjecting her daughter to this lifelong agony at a 13-year-old marriage. But that could become her saving grace. Like, she's married off now, so she's in another family.
Why wouldn't the Empire go after her?
Because she's She's no longer just Mon Mothma's daughter. She is part of Skolden's like family, and therefore under his protection too. Like, I don't know.
And he's favorable with the Empire.
I think more so than he is with the rebels.
Well, yeah, Krennic is in his art gallery. So
yes, like I think now, especially because they have such traditional marriage values there, and they worship having these arranged marriage, and that's like a tradition for them. Like, I think I could see that being like, okay, the new family, the husband's family, absorbs the wife, so it's like she's not. I think she's buffered by protection. 5 minutes, frick.
That's some cool news from Oscar. Some of the cast will be in LA for media on the 30th.
Oh, cool! Very cool.
That's cool.
Exciting, very exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna miss this cast. All these characters, just it's been incredible. Let the games begin, for real, Emery's. So yeah, that was my prediction, Lonnie. So Lonnie versus Bix.
Bix.
I think it could turn out to be neither.
Bix. If Jyn and Cassian are an item, Bix cannot survive this episodic arc.
It's starting to even out a little bit more. Yes, it's 56%.
Because if she does, then Jyn and Cassian clearly aren't an item. But I think Cassian's got some wandering eye then.
Oh, God. Danny, thank you so much. I'm going to segue to get away from this top.
Daddy!
I could be way off the mark, but am I the only one who thinks it would be really weird if Vader had zero interaction with the rebellion until an hour before A New Hope?
He definitely has had it more, because like at the beginning of A New Hope, like Leia knows who he is, like all the rebels like know who Vader is. Vader in the original trilogy, if you rewatch it, like everyone seemingly knows who Vader is. He's not some shadow warrior lurking unbeknownst to everybody. So like in A New Hope, everyone knows who he is. In Rebels, like he's more kind of mysterious, but he's not really in the picture in, season 3 and 4. Like it's more so Thrawn. Like Vader's not really involved in the later seasons of Rebels. So like between, like we're now in the time period in Andor where it's like a year out of Rogue One, like Vader is certainly more well known in some way to the Rebels. Like because like Leia knows who he is, like he's got to be like, and she says like you're Palpatine's leash or Tarkin's leash or whatever. Like he's well known in the original trilogy across the galaxy. So you're right. Like, are we going to see some of that in this show? I don't know. But like, you got a good point. It is time, that time period where he becomes more of a household name. Will we see it in this show? Based on what Tony Gilroy said, no, we would not see that piece of the puzzle come into play. But I mean, they've been name dropping Palpatine left and right.
Yeah,
who's to say that, all of Saw's rebels went on some raid, but that they were slaughtered by Palpatine's dog, Vader. And it's like, all right, are they really going to describe a scene where Vader slaughters a bunch of rebels and then not show it to us in Andor? They certainly could, and that would be incredibly audacious of them.
Time will tell.
But then they just got to give it to us one day.
Well, I cannot believe I've been humbled here. I really thought I was in the majority, but y'all agree with Tom? Almost 60%.
Rewatch that elevator scene.
I concede. I was wrong. So you know what? Bix might be not safe. They're all not safe. It's if we're out here dying of friendly fire, people could be going out in any number of ways. So we're gonna find out tonight, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us for this pre-game. We'll see what the frick happens. See what tragedy awaits. I'll catch you guys in my reactions.
R.I.P. Lonnie.
You know what? We will see.
R.I.P. Serial.
We will see.
We'll have a nice tribute memorial service for them
when we return.
Yes.
But thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys had a great Tuesday. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. Go enjoy Andor, and at 6 p.m. It is out, y'all.
It's time.
Hope you guys enjoy. We will rendezvous.
The time has come.
We will rendezvous with our emotional damage later, but until then, I'll see you guys in my reactions, and we will see you guys again very, very soon.
Enjoy, everyone.
Bye, guys.